Ding, 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 ding.
Yes. We are live.
Like a wire, right? Something like that.
Set the whole place on fire.
Hmm.
Rap styles vary and carry like Mariah.
Are you good? You got it out?
See, I was going to continue, but I was like, am I going to stress this man out right now with my
It's not
continuing?
that
So,
it's not that I'm stressed out. Just as long as you're not like throwing to me. Was I supposed to be filling in the blanks there? if I was supposed to be filling in the blanks, maybe we got a problem. But and that's some parts.
How you
I
doing
get
this
going.
Tuesday evening, my brother?
Tuesday. It's a good Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's a good Tuesday. The boy's down, so the boy made dinner, and then he and his sister, his sister has a game, so they're off to go watch soccer like the good old days.
Let me ask you, because you are an experienced fella in this realm of things.
Yeah.
Your children went off to school.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Was there a point where both of them were off at school?
No. I guess not. I guess not. No, now that I think about it.
So one left, then one came back.
Uh-huh.
And then when one came back, then the other one left?
Yeah.
Okay. Still. Okay, so when your daughter left and went away to school.
Yes.
How did that feel?
It's mixed, I guess. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little mixed, like good because she can do it. Good that we could get her there. Right? Like that when they were little itty bitty kids, that's the plan,
That's the plan,
right? So good for that. And then just, oh shit, she's not here. Kind of. Well, I mean, it wasn't like she was on her. That was part of life. So it wasn't like devastating to me, but I felt it a little bit. If that's fair, I guess, right? I felt it. What up, Brown Ting? Good evening. So, because you're coming up on this right now, right?
I am coming up on it, and like you said, when you're like this, like that was kind of the mission, that was the plan, right?
Yeah.
Brown Thing 80, what up with you? Now that it's getting closer, so as it's getting closer, now I'm starting to think of my weekends because, like, unlike you, your children live with you. Mine are weekends, right? I have my kids every weekend, and from the day I drop my kids off on Monday, they're what I think about until Friday.
Till it comes back around again. Yeah.
Right. Like I can't wait for the weekend to be with them again.
Such a good father.
And now I'm thinking, and I've been thinking like, yo, like this is kind of what I've been like for the past. He's 17 going on 18 for the past like 18 years. Like that was what I was looking forward to.
This is the move. This is what's going on.
Yeah, like I was looking. I look forward to seeing him on Fridays. I'm like, yo, when he goes away to school, it's just gonna be different. And similar to you, one will be gone, and then you'll be with your younger one, and it'll be me and my younger one, and that's gonna be a different dynamic now. Because even when the younger one is here, he kicks with daddy, comes hug daddy, but he gravitates to his brother, and like they're like this all the time, And now it's gonna be me and Cadeau, and I'm like, wow, like I'm just overthinking the dynamic of what is to come.
This is the way, man. That's all you got to think. This is the way.
Give me some guidance, master.
Just same thing you've been doing, right? The best in each situation. You'll be fine. The kids will be fine. Everybody will be fine.
Everybody will be fine.
Gonna go, I mean, it is different because my daughter was an hour away. Like she went to York. The boy's an hour and a half away. He goes, he's at Western, so a little bit different for across the country, across to the next country too. So that, but it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be good for everybody. And that's the other thing too is, even when they're leaving, it's like you got to remember this, you got to do that, you got to do this, but really, they're gone for like 2 months. You don't see them for 2-3 months.
How
then
was
you see
that?
them, and then I remember saying to her, "You're alive, good,
Hmm.
wicked,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
wicked,
Okay.
right." Because what are you gonna do? Right? You
Yeah.
have to have some belief and responsibility that they have some responsibility. But at the end of the day, what the fuck you gonna do, really?
What are you gonna do?
Right?
Right.
Right? Okay, answer the phone at 8 o'clock. Okay, all right. I couldn't make it to our call today.
Yeah. Mm.
That stuff. You build your new routine. So maybe it's a text message this time every day, or a FaceTime every Thursday at whatever.
Yeah.
But you also have to kind of let it go a little bit. Fly, little
Yeah.
butterfly.
I'm here thinking now, as you say, like for example, FaceTime every Thursday. Now I'm like, yo,
Mm.
what if the scheduled FaceTime time comes and there's no answer? Man's lose his brain, yo.
No, guys, he's training or something. Something
Right.
happened, right?
Right.
Something life happened. Life happened.
Right. Right.
Everything just they come home. They just right. They just come home.
Right.
So
Right. Well, I want to give a big shouts out to Lil Fitz. Lil Fitz on signing his letter of commitment to Cal State Fullerton. Big shouts out to you, my boy. Big shouts out to you.
big up trips.
Yes, yes. So how was your weekend this weekend, sir?
How was my weekend? My weekend. I went. What day is that? Sunday. I went out on a Sunday. I did Tirana on Sunday.
Toronto.
I went to the. I was on a hot date with Dane.
Okay.
So we went to the Blue Jay game.
Oh,
First.
okay. Okay.
Stopped in at the Blue Jay game, and then after the Blue Jay game, we went to Chillin' and Grillin'. Met Tadao there at Chillin' and Grillin'.
All right. Okay.
That's
Tadao.
It was good. Che La Soul was playing, so he was a special guest that day. Shout out to Sweet Touch, Chillin' and Grillin'. It's a great event. Great little evolution with that thing. I was just actually talking to Rick about being at the first one, and kind of what it's evolved into is pretty cool. So that's dope. Good for them. All
So
around.
Chase
It was
sprinkled
good.
a little bit of his La Soul on the grilling on the grill. The grill.
Oh boy, I see what you did there. I seen it. Channel 9 was there too. Shout out to Channel 9. Big up Channel 9 in the house.
Channel 9, Mr. Channel 9. Tadao, what up with you?
Good evening.
Cammy 23, what up with you?
Yeah, it was lit. Che played. Ritz was there. A lot of DJs and showed up too. Scratch was there. Celebrity Drew was there.
Okay.
Some other people just popped in. Carlos was there.
Well, it was a busy night.
Yeah. It's a vibe. It's a nice little vibe. So it was a good time.
David Eli, man like Eli, I lie, I tell. For real, huh?
Yeah. See, I remember I was talking to him. I couldn't remember his name. Thank you for reminding me of his name. Anyways,
I haven't seen man like Eli in a while.
So yeah, it was good. IQ Remix, what up? Raider. What do you mean Raider? From IQ Remix. Big up, IQ Remix. Thank you for coming by, sir.
IQ Remix, what up with you?
Dun, dun, dun. How about your weekend? Anything exciting?
My weekend was low key. It was kind of like the last couple of days have been based around organizing the departure of the young king, so it was pretty low key. I was hoping that I'd be able to get to Chilling and Grilling, but like my timing just didn't permit.
Don't worry, guy. You'll make it, man. A couple more weeks, this will be gone. I'll tell you, when the boy went away,
yeah.
So we drove him, and then mom's is like, "Oh, gotta make sure we do this and do this and do that," and then we pull up because they planned it well. They pull up, and then there's just commotion,
Okay.
And they come up on the car and they like start singing and dancing at the car, and they're like, "Where's the freshman?" They're like, "You," and they're like, "You come with me," and then they're doing this, and I grab your bag, you have your ID, okay, and then boom, and then they're like, you're over here, and then we're sitting there in the car, and they're like, what the fuck do we? We're like, what do we do? And they're like, well, you guys just take your time. You go around there. By the time you get around there, they'll be blah blah. You'll meet them upstairs. Da 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 da. Right, but even trying to be prepared for that, it was just like how they knew how to handle it for the parents that couldn't handle it.
So they're prepped all the way around, like they're
right, because then
prepped to deal with the students, prepped to deal with the parents,
everything. Because you get, and he's gone. Where'd he go? I don't know. His thing's over there, and then but by the time you get around there, you take out your car, and then somebody comes and takes the bags out and stuff. But he's already up there doing his thing. So it's not like how that first couple of that time might be with a parent. So, anyways, it'll be fine, guy.
All right.
It'll be fine.
I take your word for it. You're a trusted source. You're a trusted well of information in regards to this. So I trust you, my brother.
Guy, we didn't talk about my treasure chest. Speaking of old school, and in theme with probably the evening and stuff from the early 90s and things that people say, damn, you got one of those. How'd you like the treasure chest, guy?
I'm just thinking that I wish I had a tape machine. What do they call it now? Tape player? Is that what they're called? Cassette player.
Cassette player. Is that what?
It's like I forget.
There's not even an emoji for it, guy.
There's no
emoji. There's a video cassette. There's no like music cassette emoji.
Man, show that to some kids nowadays. Like, how do you listen to music? Like, how did you listen to it?
What do you do with this?
What do you do?
What do you do with this?
Yeah, but you got a box of gems in there, man.
There's pure people in there. That was pretty good. I was happy with it. I forgot really what was in there.
So I saw Rock Brigade in there.
I got to listen to the SS Crew tape. I think that's the tape with Agile freestyles to start the tape. It gets wild and crazy. But anyways, old school.
Look at these. Woo!
See, that's a video cassette.
That's a VHS.
All right. So, anyways. All right. You tell the people who we are, and you tell the people who we are and why we're here.
Well, everybody, this is episode 103 of Pizza in the Breakroom. I am Couture J, and my partner in crime right here is tdot Hotshot, and together we form Pizza in the Breakroom. Today we got a special guest, and he is of the club industry ilk. He's joining us today, and he's going to give us the insights of his history, what made him who he is, and he's going to let us know what he's actually up to nowadays as well. We got Pedro Hotstepper, and he will be with us when we get right back.
We here now. We here. Yeah. It's in the break room, y'all. Holla, holla, holla. Woo! Pedro.
What's going on?
Good day, sir. How much? How are you, man?
It's Tuesday, man. It's outstanding.
That sounds different than what you said earlier when you're like, it's only Tuesday.
When we're talking, we're in the green room. I was getting my makeup done. It's a different conversation, man. So it's good, man. It's good. It's been a long 2 days. Looking forward to the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Who isn't, right?
I mean, the weekend just finished, Pedro.
The weekend is coming. The weekend is approaching.
Okay. Fair. He's like, I don't know what you think. But
now the week that's past.
The weekend
that's
is coming.
Now. We're looking forward, right? Looking forward.
That's the only way to do it, man. That's crazy. That is crazy.
But now when I think about it, the weekend is coming. The weekend has just passed, but the weekend is coming. And a man in your line of work or your industry, I feel like it almost seems like it may never stop.
Right.
What's the same? No rest for the wicked, right? So, no. I'm not wicked at all. Listen, I am the creator of my own schedule, right? So I can choose to take on gigs or not take on gigs. So it's been a little busy lately, and it's getting very busy in the next couple of weeks. But I'm not complaining. I'm excited. I've been doing this for a minute, and I still get so excited every time events I'm involved with or running are coming up. It's and I'll continue to do it until that feeling no longer exists.
Big.
So as we do this show, and I guess it really a lot since the pandemic, different groups of people kind of have come together. So I didn't know a lot about you before the pandemic, and then as I'm starting to meet different groups of people.
Wait.
What? It's true. Toronto's a big place, man. Toronto's a big
place.
6
million people. It's a beautiful
Toronto's
thing. Twitch has been a beautiful thing.
It's brought people together, I think. And so as I started to learn about you, it's like Pedro Hotstepper, and now I hear about the parties. I'm like, oh, that guy, and things like that. So you talk about now still having, the feel for it and still waking up every day looking forward to it. How did it all start? Like, what made you fall in love with music in the first place?
I don't know if it's something that I fell in love with. Music, I always kind of grew up with music. So music was always part of my life. I guess part, of the way of growing up as well. I give probably inherited a little bit of that from my dad. Being West Indian, you might know a thing or two about that. So my dad's from St. Lucia. So as a kid, like a lot of other West Indian kids, I got dragged from house party to house party, so, and every weekend there was different social activities going on, and kind of grew up with a lot of family friends and leaning a little bit more towards my dad's side of the family. My mom is from Spain, and we have none of the family over here in Canada. All her family is in Spain. So I kind of grew up going to aunties and uncles parties every weekend. Anyone from a West Indian descent is not, this is a very common thing. Waking up in the middle of the night into a bed and I'm looking at where am I? So I'm going, what place am I in now? As a child, not as an adult. Let me just clarify. And going back to music, there was always music. So St. Lucia, kind of growing up listening to a lot of calypso, and then turning into soca later on. But and that's what was being played from earlier on. So there was always music around. So it was kind of part of my lifestyle from childhood. And having two older brothers, and I was the oops, guess what? You can still get pregnant, baby. So I got my brothers. I got one brother 9 years older than me, and Carlos, my partner, is 11 years older than me. So I used to sneak into their bedrooms because they were both music lovers and go through their vinyl, even though I wasn't allowed in my big brother's bedroom, or I wasn't allowed to touch any of their stuff, just like, any normal, siblings, like a little kid, hey, don't touch my stuff.
Right.
I'd sneak in there and I would pull all the different records, and so I had Carlos, my oldest brother, he'd listen to everything from rock to just about everything, very, very diverse.
Yeah.
And then my other brother was more into kind of like the new wave kind of sound. And that's when I literally discovered, going through records and discovered artists like Kate Bush and listening to stuff like that. And those that look at me and hey, for those that don't know Kate Bush, perfect example, listen to Maxwell. And Maxwell does a wonderful cover of Kate Bush's Woman's Work.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's a Kate Bush cover. And, listening to stuff in the 80s and the old rock stuff. And I'd never tell my brother. And my brothers never knew this story till I was an adult, because I always meticulously put all the records down. So, but yeah, music was, something that we grew up with in our family.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was your first, we'll say, genre of music that you fell in love with?
Yeah, I can't say it was anything that I played on the recorder at grade 4. So it would have to definitely. I think I still own that recorder somewhere in this house.
Nice.
But well, I mean, I was when I was partying like legally and legal age partying. It was the '90s, so I was '90s hip hop was a big love of mine, probably one of the first kind of loves, and also because my oldest brother influenced and kind of bring me into kind of the after hours scene from earlier on. I was not even exactly legal at that point, and just growing up in the infancy of the kind of house music, which I really loved. And Toronto was very, very different back then because last call was at 1 a.m. So
Damn.
there was a demand for an after hours scene because it was 1 a.m. People still had the urge to continue to party. It doesn't exist as it once did before, um, but it used to be a massive underground uh, industry movement that went on back then. So I got introduced into that kind of night culture at a pretty young age.
Okay, tell me how young, because I'm asking you this because I remember when I was in grade 7, I had a friend of mine that had a older brother that used to frequent the night scene and used to bring him along.
Mhm.
And this guy he was my age. So I'm thinking 13, 14.
Well, no, I wouldn't. I wasn't getting into the legal nightclubs at that time. So I did grow up on the east side. So not exactly Scarborough, like Paulie Lopez called it Scarborough Light. So it was always on kind of the west side of Victoria Park. We called it Scarborough
uh,
Light.
Shout out
And
Paulie Lopez.
So I went to like all ages clubs when I was pretty young, called Changes, and
Yes,
um,
heard of it.
and RPM. They had an all ages night. For those that don't know RPM, that existed before government.
Government.
For
Yeah.
those that don't know government, it's just condos right now. But I mean government. Anyone
Government.
in our relatively decade of our age group is going to know what government was.
RPM was government.
That's right. So before government, it was RPM, and they had an all ages night there. So I used to go to an all ages night there and Changes. And then when I started getting later in my teens, where my brother wasn't too embarrassed to pull me along, then that's when he introduced me into the kind of that after hours scene. So, oh, big up to Paulie Lopez in the chat, Scarborough
Shout out
Light.
Paulie.
So, yeah, and very early on an after hours scene, and I still remember the story vividly because my brother literally wouldn't go out unless he actually dressed me. Because you got to put this shirt on and these pants on, and you got to look good, right? So and I
Stand up
only got in
straight, all
because
that good stuff.
I only got in because of my older brother. I gotta give props to my brother Carlos. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't get into these places. But we went to an after hours club and he pulled me in, and I've given this analogy. I mean, how do I put this in words? It was kind of like Alice through the rabbit hole, and I just went, because there was no internet, there's no photos, there's no way of being able to experience it
Right.
ever. So I had
Unless you're
zero
there. Yeah.
expectations. It's really hard to tell like a kid today because kids today, whether it's a concert, anything, they've
They know
virtually
it. Yeah,
experienced something before.
yeah,
They experienced something.
yeah.
But this is literally had no exposure, no idea of what to expect, and really going in there, and my eyes just was like huge. And I
Yes,
remember
man.
the host was a drag queen, and at that point, today it's not a big deal, but then I was like, wow, this is wow, like this is
Yeah.
incredible, right?
You're actually
And
in Wonderland.
yeah, I was just like, this is crazy, and
Damn.
outfits, and then it was not exactly a nightclub, but they kind of converted into kind of just a really cool interactive space and lighting and just really interesting people, and then that's when that early house music was being played, and fell in love with that really quickly. So that was my drug. Music
That's
and
awesome.
going out and living that was my drug.
That's crazy. I'm gonna stop. We're gonna pause 1 second here. If everybody can please hold. Denise Jojo's just walked in the building. It's Denise Jojo's birthday today. Shout out to Denise Jojo. Happy birthdays in the chat. Whatever emoji you use to say happy birthday to people, tag Denise Jojo.
Let's put some cakes. Let's put some cakes in the chat for Denise.
Denise Jojo, happy birthday! Cake,
Not Kiki cakes. Not Kiki cakes, but birthday cakes.
Shout out to Fave. Christy Ray, big up. Thank you for coming by, cuz.
Cakes.
Ben's Plus, Chris Manny and Callie. Daryl with a V. Missy Bell. People in the house.
Some donut cakes.
As they say, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us to say happy birthday to Denise Jojo.
Jojo, I'm with you. Denise Jojo, I'm here for the wine too. You can't see it, but let me put it on. I got yeah, so I'm celebrating with Denise Jojo. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh boy. There we go. That was a lot of cake in the chat.
A lot of cake.
See, Fitz, it's all your fault, man.
Me? I'm from Scarb's Light. It can't be my fault.
You're from Scarb's Light. Where's Scarb's Light for you?
Kennedy and Finch.
That's Scarborough.
Say no, that's bold. That's bold with some italics. Bold italics, Scarborough.
That's Scarborough. Yeah, I'm just a stone throw away from Victoria Park, so I'm technically in the North York side, stone throw away.
You almost got rezoned.
Along Finch, Shepherd, York Mills.
No, I'm Eglinton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay.
You know where there's that LRT. That's going to be it'll be done by 2030, I think. So
I drove by there for the first time in forever a couple of months ago. And yeah, that's crazy what they did up there. But anyways, so such is life.
The swinging lady, the golden mile lady.
Yes, you know what? DJ Channel 9 knows where I live. So yes, the swinging lady, the golden mile lady. That's exactly right.
I was blown away the very first time that I seen this. She was wearing a different outfit. I was like, what the hell?
She changes outfits as the seasons change.
It blew my mind because I just knew we were wearing one outfit for like years. And then I drove by one day, I'm like, wait a second, is she wearing pants?
Yes.
I did not know this either.
No, she changes her clothes. Madness.
So for those that don't know that area, it's called the Golden Mile. And she's been swinging there for decades and decades. She's a swinger. She's a swinger.
Ain't nothing wrong with some swinging in the chat. Swinging in the chat.
Stop this. Stop this. This is supposed to be one of the serious ones, man. Like, holy. Oh.
So it's only going to get so serious. You got Paulie in the chat. I'm in here.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen any of our streams when we used to stream, it only got so serious. I'll tell you that.
It gets wild. You guys get wild and crazy. Well, Paulie Lopez is a good time. So there we go. Him and the swinging lady would, I'm sure, have a good time together.
Yeah, swinging.
All right, Hotstepper Productions. Tell us about this. Where did this come from? How did that? Where did that come from?
Yeah, well, it started back 95, and originally from my brother got approached by El Macombo, a very historic club in Toronto that's still around. That's where we made our start. It was at the Elmo. So, and how it was that Carlos was actually discovered through his mixtapes. Now, to anyone who's really young in there, it's literally a mixed cassette tape. So a hard copy cassette.
Show one, tdot. You
So
must
on
have one
tdot
right there.
hotshot, I saw you showed it in your socials. You got some back there.
I gotta run and get it, man.
So
I
literally
get it.
making mixtapes, and caught the ear of someone from El Mocambo. And to make a long story short, they said, "Hey, you want to come in here and really like your music style? It's really kind of different. You want to start up at night?" And Carlos and I said, "Well, we know nothing about booking or promoting." And they're like, "Well, we'll kind of teach you." And they have an in-house booker. So we actually started with live and DJ booking. So, and while we're in Elmo, we booked acts that are, are still known today, like Chaos,
Heaven
Raps in the
only
Bucket,
knows.
Jack Soul, rest in peace, Hayden. Is no longer with us, but those artists that are you hear on the radio today. So we had still today artists and DJ. So it was live and a DJ combo. So that was a unique twist back then, and it was called Soul Sundays at the Elmo Combo, and it was we kind of really got into that kind of soul kind of sound, that acid jazz sound back then, where acid jazz was kind of just starting, with bands like, Brand New Heavies and Incognito. Then Jamiroquai came in from those kind of influences, and a whole bunch of other really cool artists, and kind of diverse from there. So we were there for a little bit, and then around a year later, started up a party called Bump and Hustle. So big shout out to Paulie Lopez, and got to give shout out to Mike Tall, that they connected with Carlos. They had a show called and kind of DJ team and show called Vibes and Stuff back in the day. And
I learned about those two from the Boom Boom chat room with Denise, Jojo, and Mrs. Ron C. That's where I learned about Mike Tull from.
Yeah, so great DJ, great DJ, as well as Paul. I like teasing Paul, but the guy is dope. He's got an amazing ear, and he's an incredibly talented DJ. And not only is he a great DJ, it's someone I consider a dear friend as well. So it's cool where you meet people in the industry and work with them, but end up really creating great friendships from there. So so the Bump and Hustle crew were together, and once again started off as a live and DJ combo, and had artists where many of you are familiar with. Cardinal Official. Let me see. Just I'm trying to think off the top of my head on some as well. Chaos, Glenn Lewis.
It's funny, and it's funny as you talk about that, because we try to do our research over here. So as I'm researching, and then just and there's like a list, like pretty, on a web page. My screen's a good size, so it's a pretty big list.
yes, I saw the list. I experienced that list
anyway.
as well.
Well, tons and tons of artists like Divine.
But it's
Brown,
just tons of art. It's amazing.
Tons,
it's amazing, and but it just goes back to, as I learn about the folks that, in Toronto and things like that, and I learn about you specifically. It's like, holy shit! Like such an amazing, I guess, body of work, as they say. So big up to you, just in general, to the Hotstepper Productions and all that stuff. Because like I said, as you're sitting there thinking, I'm like, yeah, man, it is a lot of people. It is a lot of connections. It is a lot of experiences that you've probably had, that are just, I don't know, just awesome, being around all those people in general and learning from those people and going back and forth with your talent. So big up to you for that. Because I mean,
that's appreciated. Thanks. Like, that's really kind. Like, and I love just, we focused on Toronto talent, and Paulie's in the chat, but Paulie, like, he's from it, part of it from day one. So you can keep on putting all the artists in there, Paulie. But I mean, the party ran for 20 years. So, and ended on a high note. But I mean, played everything. Like it was a no rules kind of party. So everything from like soul stuff, funky jazz stuff, Latin Brazilian, like rockets reggae, like broken beat. It's just the one common element. It just kept it funky, kept it soulful,
Yeah.
and if it was good music, they played it, and with live performances too, it was dope. So Gwen McCrae, yes, thanks, Polly. Like for those that don't know the Gwen McCrae, she's sampled a million times, but she's the one that says, keep the fires burning, and rocking chair, and tons of acts. Like we had her live. It was around a year after we started bumping hustle. And it's the first time we had like an international act of bumping hustle, and we're like, okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it big. We're gonna do it in the big room of government. And for those that would go in government knows it was a really big space. Well, here's the inexperience as a promoter. We did it like in January, and that particular day, as she flew in from Florida, she came into Canada, and it was minus 35 Celsius. So where the news had warnings like, if you are outside, your exposed skin will freeze in 10 minutes. And I'm like, as a promoter, you're just thinking to yourself like, oh my God, this is the worst possible thing you can have. There's newscasters warning you not to be outdoors, right? And you're just like, oh God. And so Gwen McCrae flies in from Florida, lands and feels the air, and she was like, Lord God, she's never experienced something this cold. We rarely experience something this cold when we live here.
Right.
But to make a long story short, we ended up getting like 900 people at that party. So, which was amazing. And it's funny, once again, this is before social media, before Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. And one thing that stuck in my mind, which I remembered, was as the party was warming up and it was vibing, I remember everyone being on their phones and going, what's going on? Everyone calling. And what they were doing, they were calling their friends saying, listen, you need to get down here. And then we had this other surge of people coming down, and it was huge. And we knew at that point, we thought, okay, I think we have something pretty significant on our hands here. And the city really embraced the party, and the DJs and the artists, and it was something special back then. So that started in '96, and it went all the way to 2016. And I mean, even when it ended, even the final party, it was packed. It was still good. It was just really ended it on a high note. Like a 20-year anniversary is a good round number. But we had like artists like they came down and did cameos. Like Ali Shaheed Muhammad, the DJ for Tribe Called Quest, came down one time and said, can I just play some music? I'm in town. And we're like, yeah. Just took over the decks, and it's like all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, it's Ali Shaheed Muhammad from Tribe Called Quest. And
did you charge him?
Yeah, we made sure we charged him admission to get in, right? So, it's just bump and hustle after all, right? So Amy Winehouse was down partying at one of the bump and hustles, and I don't know if Polly shared the story, but she came up and made a music request to Paul and Mike, and they turned her down. So they said, no, we don't do that. We play our own music. So, but it was completely Paul, chat in. What was the track? Was it a Sex Pistols track, Polly?
Must have been Jay-Z.
Yeah, but I mean, tons of artists, and then that kind of morphed into a Sundays that we started, which was Hotstepper Sundays, and on the patio, and we ran Hotstepper Sundays for 10 consecutive seasons on the patio. It originally started at, people know it as Cube, but before Cube it was Ultra, so it was actually started when it was at Ultra
Supper Club.
Yes, and it was on the rooftop patio, and kind of Bump and Hustle kind of morphed into kind of a Hotstepper Sundays thing. And then from there, we had tons of talent too that rolled through, like Maceo, which is the DJ from De La Soul,
okay.
Tony Touch, House DJs as well, like
Tony
Charisma.
Touch, huh?
Tony Touch, Tony Toka.
Tony Toka.
There's Tony Touch cassette in there. There's definitely a Tony Touch cassette in that
Oh yeah,
box.
yeah. Tony Toka, and a lot of these guys, end up becoming friends of ours. So like Tony Touch and like Maceo, and then Maceo just made it a thing when he was in Toronto, and he's just like, I want to come back and play. And so when you have the DJ from De La Soul just wanted to do it, he's just like, money secondary for him. He just wants to hang out and play,
Did you charge him?
Yeah.
Well, no one got charged because Hotstepper Sundays was free every Sunday. So, but yeah, we're just really blessed with like so much talent and so many Toronto DJs that played the party. So it started off with the residencies with Mike and Paulie, and then later on Dave Campbell became the resident DJ. But yeah, I mean, we've had so many different guest DJs down there, and just thrilled, DJ starting from scratch, and Jester, DJ Channel 9.
Bam. Hotstepper Sunday is a great vibe, man. I've been there a couple of times, and not many times, but the few times that I've been, it's a perfect Sunday evening.
Yeah, it's something that we loved, and once again, 10 consecutive years there was amazing. That's a nice round number, but COVID hit. That's the reason why we wrapped that up. But yeah, thanks, Paulie. Sean Sachs, rest in peace. Played there as well. There's so many good, amazing DJs that we had down there. Sweet Touch Foundation, played down there. So, yeah, so we rotated guests on a weekly basis. So, yeah, it was a great time, and so we just wrapped that up a couple of years ago, right when COVID hit, because the venue shut down, like many other venues did in the city. But we'll talk about other gigs. But coincidentally, I do have a Hotstepper Sundays. We call it the Remix Cruise. It's a remix because it's not on a patio; it's on a boat.
On a boat.
So tell them all about it.
We could talk. Well, you want to talk about an hour later? I don't know. It's like,
well, I mean,
I'm great about.
Well, I mean, hit him with the trailer. Hit him with the trailer. The trailer of what we're going to talk about later.
Okay, well, yes. So for those that never experienced it, or for those that have experienced it, come on down. Yes, Sunday, July 23rd. We're going to be doing a boat cruise. It's going to be noon to 5. If you haven't gotten your tickets, you really want to get your tickets soon, because it's
we're running low on tickets, people.
Extremely fast. There is a meal that is included with your ticket price, but we have DJ starting from scratch. We got Paulie Lopez. We got Jason Palma, and we got Che La Soul, dropping the tunes. And then we have Timber and yours truly, Pedro Hotstepper, hosting. So it's gonna be a vibe. It's gonna be a vibe. You're gonna want to go check it out. And tickets, just go on my Instagram, Pedro _ Hotstepper or Hotstepper Productions. All the information's there, and get yourself a ticket. Tickets are still available, but hurry up, because it's selling very quickly. But we can get a lot of people on the boat. But if you're thinking of something to do, come check it out. Good daytime jam, and the weather looks incredible. Like, we could not have asked for better weather. It's like 26 degrees.
Yeah.
So 30 with the Humidex. I'm like, that's a perfect summer day.
That's perfect on the water.
Totally.
I'll see y'all in the parking lot. I'll be there nice and early. Watch out for that Toronto traffic.
That's right. You got to reach the boarding at noon, for all the other fellow West Indians.
I'm gonna keep quiet with my thoughts on how to manage that. I'll be there early. And I'll be in the parking lot, and I'll be on the boat.
Yes, but it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a vibe for sure. Yeah.
All these people we're talking about that you've interacted with, all these different parties, big club. Like, for the people that don't know, the clubs that he's talking about are big clubs, big events in Toronto. Is there an experience, something that's just like, wow, I did that. Wow, I was a part of that. Like, is there something that just really stands out to you?
There's a lot of experiences. Yeah, I feel, and I don't want to get too cheesy or anything like that, but I mean, I feel blessed doing every single event. Like, it is, um, I don't take it for granted. I'm really blessed and really thankful for our people that we have such a loyal following at our events, and such trust. And that's why I'm, I also, people entrust that, hey, if I'm going to promote it, it's going to be a good type of party. So really, every party is amazing. I know that's kind of a cop out question, but there's many. I For the house heads, I ran a party called Garage 416, and that started off at a little club right beside Fluid that was called Granite Lounge. And Granite Lounge only fit around 150 people. 200 would be like shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
And we did the very, very first party there. And actually, no, it could probably fit around 200. So we actually ended up getting 300 people. So to the point where people were on the sidewalk and then on the first lane of, those that don't know where Fluid or Granite is, that's kind of on Richmond Street. So people flooded onto the sidewalk and flooded onto the first lane of the street. There were so many people trying to get in. So to the point where the police said, like, listen, you guys have to do something here. And we're saying we can't get anyone in. It was beyond the laws of physics. It was packed.
Right.
And we're like, you can't say anything to us. We just, if people are choosing to stand there, they're choosing to stand there. So, and at that point we said, okay, I think we got something special on that house tip. And then we started getting to bigger venues. But for those that may remember going back, there was a club called Roxy Blue, and that was on Brant Street. And that's where I really called home for Garage 16. And that's where I really was able to break a lot of new house DJs. So
why was it called Garage?
So Garage 416. So 416 representing Toronto.
Okay.
Good question. Good question. So Garage was a nod to a party that was happening in New York City called Paradise Garage. And Paradise Garage was, some people say it's kind of a really, there was a couple of different parties, but the Loft and Paradise Garage kind of like really the start of that kind of house movement in kind of New York City. They're saying the beginning of house was originally in Chicago, but New York had their own kind of scene. So Paradise Garage was very, very influential for the beginning of house music. And the reason being is the resident DJ Larry LeBon there. And we're going back into the history of just nightclub in general, is that, he used to play there. He played a lot of soul kind of bass music and disco music and black kind of style music. And it was a whole mix of type of people, straight, gay, black, white. Predominantly, there was a high percentage of black and Latinos, like Puerto Rican specifically, that were there. And started a huge kind of movement, a really big scene. And then house kind of started to grow from there. And that was really influenced from the Paradise Garage, from that New York scene, is the type of disco he played, the type of soul he played, the type of like true R&B kind of the start of that kind of R&B kind of sound. Not the start of it, but before the 90s R&B, right? Kind of started. Right. So we're going back like 70s, 80s, right? And then that house music kind of grew out and evolved from that scene. So that wasn't technically a house place, but that's kind of where it really kind of started. That was the infancy and birthplace of it. So that's kind of a nod to them and to that kind of scene. And so, because the kind of house music that we played in Toronto, Garage 416, was very soulful house, organic house. Not the kind of EDM that you'd be hearing today. So You know, the roots really would be like disco and soul and R&B. So a lot of the vocalists on the style of house we played there were like people that grew up in the church, right?
Got you.
Singers and things like that. That's where a lot of the singers came from.
So
right?
this is of no kin to the UK garage.
Totally different. Yeah.
He said, I said garage.
That's right. So they say garage, and yeah, that's so this the yeah this so and it's funny how they call it UK garage, but just the way it started, a completely different evolution, right? But yeah, going back to that, that was a real. So Hotstepper, once again, going back to the roots, it's kind of Carlos and myself kind of run Hotstepper. Hotstepper is not just a one party kind of thing. So it's kind of an umbrella party. We have like parties like branded parties under the Hotstepper banner. So like Bump and Hustle, Hotstepper Sundays, Break for Love, like Garage 416, and kind of a few other parties that we had like Soul Sundays and so forth. That kind of was under that banner. So we so it wasn't unusual for us to do like hip hop shows. It wasn't unusual for us to do house shows.
Okay.
So I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but we really called that Roxy Blues spot, and that was on Brant Street. So Brant, right in between King and Adelaide. So it's a steakhouse right now. But that's kind of where Garage 416 really blew up from like the 300-person parties to like the 1,200-person parties. So it was big, and that was a once a month party. So that's where, for those that like house music, artists like Dennis Ferrer. I had the privilege of giving Dennis Ferrer his very first international DJ gig, who right now is playing festivals for like 50,000 people. But we still in connection, and we're still chat on a regular basis. But I'm not paying him $100,000.
Did you charge him
like he is today, right?
The question is, did you charge him?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I booked him as a favor from another DJ. They're like, "Listen, you got to book this guy. He's great." And now, I can't sing, so I'm not going to sing it. But for those that are interested, go check out like Hey Hey, house music, and Dennis Ferrer. Hey Hey, big track of his actually crossed over to like mainstream radio. So, really big. But guys like Masters at Work, which would be Louis Vega and Kenny Dope. And Kenny Dope didn't just do house music too. We did a lot of hip hop beats as well. But everything we did was very black influenced or soul influenced. But so that was Garage 416, and that started in '98 and went on for a long time. So yeah, started off with around 300 people. We moved up to a whole bunch of different venues to do around 1,200 people.
So when you moved up to 1,200 people now, that's not your first time doing a 1,200 people party. It's just for the Garage 416 event?
For Garage 416 itself.
Yeah. But before, you've had other events with that type of with that amount of people. It's just for this particular event, you're saying?
Yeah, we have. So a good example is back in the Bump and Hustle days, we used to curate during the summertime events at Harborfront, and where we'd actually have live acts on the large stage, and then the Bump and Hustle after party in the Brigantine Room, and we'd have thousands of people that come down there. If anyone's gone to the main stage, it's huge, and where we had booked artists like Zapp and Roger. So that's like More Bounce to the Ounce, Shooter Love.
Shooter up.
For those there we go. Wait.
Okay.
Oh,
Keep
sorry. Whoa. No, we got a show. Sorry.
Everybody, microphones in the chat for that one, please.
Yes.
Holy moly.
So funny story about Zapp and Roger. First of all, they put on an awesome show live. Sad story, actually. So these guys are great, like old school, really like soul singers. They knew how to perform. They jumped in the stage. There's thousands of people there. They put on an amazing show. A few weeks later, I was in the car driving into the office, and very sad news. I ended up finding out just like a short time afterwards. Roger Troutman, and for those that are maybe not as old, Roger Troutman was in the video with Tupac and Dr. Dre. California knows how to party. That was Roger Troutman in the background singing.
California knows how to party.
We need tdot Hotshot to sing that one. Go on.
Wow, tdot is on one tonight.
I'm putting you on the spot, man. So
in the city of Compton.
In the city, Scarborough. So, anyways, weeks later, he ended up getting murdered by his own brother, who was also part of the band. It was a murder-suicide. So he got murdered outside his studio. And I'm hearing this on the radio as I'm driving in, and I'm just freaking out. I was like, I was just with
You're just with him.
Just with him weeks ago, and his brother drove a couple blocks away and committed suicide. So no one knows the true story behind that, what happened, but really, really sad. But he was just, he's a legend. I mean, where, guys like Tupac and Dr. Dre were giving him props. So we had,
R.I.P. to legend, man. R.I.P. to legend, for sure.
And artists like Indea Davenport, one like the Brand New Heavies. Also, right from Toronto, we had, who else did we have? Polly, help me out, man. Who else did we have part of that? Ivana Santilli that performed on stage, and many artists. But I mean, so we'd have thousands that would come down. It was a Bumpin' House weekend that would come down every year. We did that for around 4 years down at Harbourfront. So that was great. So we've had the opportunity to do small, intimate parties, very large parties, like even like parties with Art Gallery of Ontario, like after parties for the Rolling Stones. I did an after party for Jamiroquai after performing at Government's, an after party at the we curated a party as part with Grace Jones at Art Gallery of Ontario. So
Stop it, man.
So we've been really privileged to work with amazing artists.
Okay. You're giving us a rundown of people that you've worked with, and you know what we do here? We ask you.
Okay.
Who is the worst experience that you've worked with?
Oh, I don't have a lot of nightmare stories. Let me think. There is this one DJ. His last name's Lopez, but spelled with an S. He's such a prima donna. Like his rider. Oh my goodness, he's just like, yes, I need like water, but not spring water. It's got to be reverse osmosis, and it's
reverse osmosis.
And
this guy sounds like a nightmare.
Oh, I gotta pick all the red M&Ms out of the M&Ms because he doesn't like the red ones.
Have you ever had one of those?
So, actually, no. We've actually, you know what? To tell you the truth, we haven't had. Like, I'd love to share a really bad nightmare story.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fortunate. Like, pretty easygoing people, and it's and artists have been great. We've been pretty, keep it pretty professional.
Do you think it has to do with the vibe and the genre of music and artists that you might deal with in that genre that might cause them to be as down to earth?
Yes.
And easy to work with?
Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it. I mean, even like, this is what I love about, the scene that I'm a part of. It's like when we have, like, I'll drop a few other names that we've, here's a good example. I'm going to go off on a tangent. There's another party that we have done.
Yes, sir.
And that's called, it was called Doing It. And we did that in conjunction with Jonathan Ramos and REMG. And that was like more of a hip hop booking party. So this is going to come and circle back. This is just a long-winded way of answering.
We love it.
So Doing It was a hip hop. I'm not going to call it a hip hop party, but it was a hip hop kind of DJ series where we booked a lot of hip hop DJs. But the concept of the party is where they can play the music that they love and influence them. So that could incorporate hip hop, but not necessarily hip hop, right?
Right.
So as part of that, we had guys like that you may know, like Maceo, I said, from De La Soul. He was part of doing it. We had a little DJ that some of you guys might know. His name's Questlove from The Roots. So we had Questlove, and he was just chilling in the car, like not a limo, nothing, just a regular car, just chilling. And with that, we had Ali Shaheed Muhammad from Tribe Called Quest, and rest in peace, we had Jay Dilla perform as well. So, and as Jay Dilla performed, he also brought up, who did he bring up? Who did he bring up, Paulie? Help me out. He brought up another DJ duo from Detroit, and they came on up, and Slum Village was in the house. So I mean, and these guys played everything from like hip hop tracks that they got influenced to like, I remember Questlove dropping like Guns N' Roses because it was like a track that he loved, and he got, yes, Frank and Dank, thank you so much, Paulie. Yeah, Frank and Dank, So
Always getting pure chat points, or whatever they call them.
Yes. I'm giving him props. So I just need Paul beside me, so as my wingman to do this would help. But like these guys, like everyone knows, down to earth. And then I went to go to Miami because we'd go to a music conference, and he'd be there. He's just like, hey, like guys, like just hang out, and we're like, yeah, let's hang out.
Right.
And going to different cities, and Carlos has traveled a lot throughout the world. I've had the opportunity to travel as well and just experience different scenes, but it's great. It's like, hey, you're in Miami, and then you're bumping into Questlove, and he's just like, yeah, come party with us. And we're like, yeah, sure, we'll party with you. Or, they're like, hey, if you guys are in New York, come party with us. And, and having guys like Maceo from De La Soul just saying, hey, we just want to come and hang out. And then all of a sudden, De La Soul's hanging out on our patio partying with us. At our closing party of bumping also the 20th anniversary. And this wasn't pre-planned, but we had, oh my goodness, Paul, I'm blanking out here with all this wine. We have Dave Chappelle. So Dave Chappelle was in the house.
This guy's just these guys just tossing out people like, you know what? Dave Chappelle came through. You know what? The Rolling Stones passed through our party, guys. So Dave Chappelle was there, and I was like, yo, Dave, this is not like the big bottle service party or whatever, but you can come and have some drinks and hang and the whole thing. And he's like, no, he goes, that's why I'm here. I'm not looking for that. He goes, I just want the raw, gritty kind of stuff. And
first of all, why was your Dave Chappelle voice so on point? Not the old skinny funny Dave Chappelle, but the new serious Dave Chappelle voice.
You don't mess with Dave Chappelle's all buff now. You can't mess with Dave Chappelle now, right?
That's true still.
But I loved it, and just I guess it's what you said. It's like these guys, it's different because with this kind of music, it's all the type of parties we do and the type of music we do. It's not pretentious, right? It's very welcoming. Everyone's welcome. We're not the champagne on top, pouring champagne in people's face. That's not our kind of scene, you know what I'm saying? So, but we're just really down to earth and just keep it raw, and we're not really about fronting. We're just about good times, right? And, and good music, and treating people with respect. And that's what these artists, they like to come down and just hang out. And sometimes it's nice for them. Sometimes they just choose to hang out. It's like you're doing a party. It's like, oh, Nelly Furtado's here, or it's like, or an artist is here, or a UFC fighter. Oddly enough, I'm just like, wouldn't think could be into it, but it's like there's an ex-UFC champion hanging out there. Like he's like, yeah, I love this stuff, and I'm like, this is crazy. So it's great, it's great, and it's humbling, and it's and that's why I'm like, don't take this for granted. Really blessed. Like we've been doing this for 28 years, and I'm still super busy. Like I can't believe it. I can't believe it. My brother and I used to talk. We said, hey, imagine if we hit 5 years and then hit 10 years, right, and then hit, and and Polly, I'm seeing some of the messages, but yeah, I forgot a whole bunch of people. We had other artists there, for those that like Soul to Soul, and Karen Wheeler is the lead singer from Soul to Soul. We've had, and it's just amazing. I'm forgetting a whole bunch of others, but
I saw a reel today, not today, but recently about Karen Wheeler's song "From Soul to Soul, Back to Life."
yes,
Did you ever see it?
they're circulating on Instagram just recently.
Right, you saw that. That was pretty wild. I don't know if anybody saw it, but in this reel, it's saying that the song "Back to Life" is actually a song that Karen Wheeler wrote after she had a near-death experience where she was dead for a little while, and then she came to, and she wrote the song talking about she's back to life, back to reality, and she's talking to God, saying like, "However do you want me? However do you need me?" And I'm like, ooh.
That's the first time I heard that story, and I mean, I know Karen Wheeler. We've messaged. Like, I mean, she is she's just a beautiful person, and I didn't know that story. That's an amazing story. Thanks for sharing that. That's actually generally like a really cool story.
Madness.
Yeah. So so I don't have a lot of dirt. Like that's so. In short, we've really had a lot of really good experiences.
But it's a lot, man. Like when you really step back and think about it, like to say now, you said you guys started in 1995, right? Like that's.
Yeah, I was 10 years old. So
right?
I mean,
I hear that. I think I was like 15, something like that, right? But that's crazy. So I mean, longevity is good. So what does Pedro do to relax and get away from all this madness? What's your thing? Yeah, well, I know that's what everybody says, but what do you think?
Well, yeah. So, yeah. Quite honestly, I'm a really simple guy. I really, really, really am. People thinking like I'm out partying and stuff like that. I don't. I don't say I don't. I do. It's part, of what I do. But a lot of the times I'm pretty boring. I like just like because I'm in that atmosphere a lot. I like to have a lot of downtime and just surround myself with the people I love. I have a really good core friends. Big shout out to Zay Zay. It's my boys in the chat. So I big up.
First time chatter, Zay Zay, big up.
Yes. And make sure you follow Zay Zay. So
follow Zay Zay.
But
follow Zay Zay.
Yeah, it's like a family. Listen, it's really simple, man. It's family. It's my friends. It's my loved ones that I love to spend time with. Just keep it really simple. The parties I do is great. Yeah, I love it. I love creating a positive distraction for people. So people work hard all week long. They can go anywhere that they choose, but many choose to come to my events. So, I always feel very honored and very blessed that they do that. So I want to make sure I give them a very positive distraction. Because you know what? On Monday, they're going to go back to work and deal with their stressful lives and so forth. So it's a little bit of a release. And for myself, I keep my circle tight. I'm acquainted to many people, but I have a really good core tight friend group, and like even with my folks, I see my folks many times during the week. So family is important to me. I'm just an old-fashioned kind of guy that way.
Oh, come on, man! Like, come on! You play the guitar, you yoga, is it movies? Like, what is it? It's got to be something.
The hobbies. Yeah, I with the pandemic was really cool because I really liked getting back out and kind of reset, right? So really getting reconnected with nature again, really enjoying the outdoors a lot more. So I'm a little guilty this year, but I really enjoy cycling. This year I haven't gone out as much as I wanted to. but I really enjoy just cycling, and sometimes just on my own, just being out in nature and cycling. I have some great trails near my house, so that's my peace time. I'm around people a lot, so sometimes I just like a little solitude and go and just riding in nature, and or just going walking out in nature, and and I try to keep myself healthy, not only mentally and physically. I'm not talking about going overboard, but try to live a healthy lifestyle. I don't mind
Good
having a glass
habits.
of wine here or there, right? So, but live healthy habits, and I'm a dad, so you guys appreciate it. So, trying to lead by example too, right? Just try to be a good role model, right?
Your boy is 15.
Yes, yes, yes. So, I got a great son there, Zeze, and a daughter, Ella. So, it's awesome. It's awesome. So they're my life, you know. So
Wicked.
they're extensions of me. So, that's I want to make their lives, better. So they're awesome kids and some good friends. Like, listen, all joking aside, Polly and I, we tease each other, but I'm just calling him out because he's in the chat. But I mean, we've known each other for decades, and the funny thing is, I think we got closer over time, right?
Right.
And the pandemic was great. Like, he used to come over, and we ended up having a show together. It was Garage 416 vinyl sessions where we had our vinyl show. I've since moved, and my studio is not there anymore, and so I've been set up again for Twitch. But I mean, we did that for a long time, maybe Friday night, but not only for the show, but as you and many of the other people in the chat, people were just hungry for some form of social interaction. So so it was a mixed blessing, right? I thought COVID was kind of a mixed blessing, and coming back from promoting, on my sense is that, first of all, I'm super blessed that I was able to come back and continue to promote.
I was gonna ask you that, like how you felt, like, because I mean, me being a barber, my industry got shut down,
100%.
right? So now it's me thinking, where do I get the income finances from to facilitate life? And now you're like you're a promoter, and I'm assuming that a lot of your revenue to facilitate life comes from you creating these positive distractions for people.
Yes, but I do have another life,
Okay.
and that other life is, I'm very corporate during the day.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so I do have, I from a very young age when I got into the promoting, I always made sure I continued with my schooling, my education. So I do have a BCom. I got a commerce degree, and and a lot of people don't know this, so I'm sharing it on your show. It's that, yeah, I'm Mr. Corporate guy during the day. I literally had a white collar on today, so I had corporate photo shoots done today. So and
glamour shots,
yeah, exactly, and that's what we're joking about, glamour shots. Went to the mall, Parkway Mall, which would have been Scarborough, not so light. Just that's the mall I grew up as a kid. That was Ellesmere and Victoria Park.
Shout out to Parkway.
Shout out to Parkway Mall.
Yeah, they had a glamour shots in there, didn't they?
They did have a glamour shot.
Yikes.
Tuxedo Royale and all the good stuff.
Wow.
Flyway. So,
Parkway Mall.
Yeah. So it was I knew from a very young age. Listen, I had no idea that 28 years later I'm still doing it. I really had no clue whatsoever. I was like, hey, if we made it 5 years, this would be a dream come true. So that's why I don't take any of this for granted. And provided that people are still enjoying the events and coming down, we're gonna keep on going. And I mean, as you know, it's still busy. Like, within a week and a half, I got 3 like big events, still, and I'm just amazed that I'm still doing it, and really blessed.
Name those 3 events again. Can you run down the list of those 3 events?
Well, this Friday night, July 21st, I'm starting a brand new monthly party with my boys, Sweet Touch Foundation. It's going to be the top floor of Laval. So, and I've never done a party at Laval. I've done a party in so many different venues. So it'll be my first time. And for those that haven't been to Laval, Laval is on King Street, just east of Bathurst on the south side, and it's got a beautiful rooftop terrace. So it can be an indoor-outdoor party. So if the weather's nice, we'll be partying outdoors. If the weather is questionable, there's a whole indoor section that's covered. So it's a great venue. So we're going to be doing that on a monthly basis. So Friday, definitely come down. And the great part of it, just go to my Instagram. Once again, it was Pedro_Hotstepper or Hotstepper Productions. Either one, and there's an RSVP link. So just hit that and come down and join us. By the way, tickets for that, it's a good size venue, so we can get a lot of people in there. But from soon as we announced it last Friday, it was crazy. I was just so amazed on the response. So it's literally $5. Okay, so it's nothing's $5 anymore today. It's $5. So
$5 at Laval.
Yeah, that's right. And plus the whatever the fees are, about something. So, and that's it. That's
$5.70. Everybody, $5.70.
Is that what it comes up to, or whatever?
I don't know.
Whatever it is on the fees, but that is Friday. So come down, check that out. That's going to happen once a month. Then on Sunday, I had already mentioned we have the Hotstepper Sundays boat cruise. That's at the River Gambler. And we are boarding at noon and ends at 5. So once again, DJ starting from scratch, Paulie Lopez, Jason Palma, DJ Chela Soul, Timber will be hosting alongside yours truly, Pedro Hotstepper. And that will be a good feel of those that never experienced Hotstepper Sundays. Come down, you'll have a good feel of what that is. And that's going to be a whole mixed genre. And Friday too, it's going to be a complete mixed genre. So we're going to be playing everything, but a little bit more focused on things from like 80s, 90s, 2000s for the grown-ups.
Not limited edition.
That's right. That's limited edition on Friday. Hotstepper Sundays Remix Cruise on Sunday. And then we have a very, very big event talking about the larger scale ones. So that's going to be July 28th, and that's called Groovin' in the Park. That happens once a year. And I got approached to curate the Friday night. So that's July 28th, Friday, July 28th. That's going to be at Woodbine Park. So last year was the first year I was part of it. We had 1,800 people that came down. It's free for everybody. It's an outdoor venue. So, and Break for Love, which is one of my branded house parties that I've been running for, oh my goodness, for over 13 years, almost 14 years now. And so this is going to be it'll be like classic house and some rare groove stuff. And we have a whole bunch of DJs. Once again, free for everybody. So
what time do we start?
5 o'clock on Friday, and it goes to 11, 5 to 11. So we'll have some great singers, some great dancers, and some dope DJs. So Paulie Lopez will be DJing. Jason Palma will be DJing. We have DJ Yogi, Tyrone, Dirty Dale, Dave Campbell. We have Jay Newfunk, Paulie. Who else am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting them. So it's a whole lineup of DJs. So come down, check that out. It's family friendly, so everybody can come down and enjoy. So yeah, that is going to be last year. Once again, we had 1,800 people. It was crazy. It was amazing. So come down and check us out.
Awesome.
So this Friday, then we have this Sunday, and then we have the following Friday.
Correct. You got it. Mark your calendars right now. Gotta put that in your.
That is pretty good because I didn't have that at all. I was like, I think I would have been close. So it goes.
Is he cutting off for you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because you can hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
All right. Well.
Okay, everybody. So again, you hear Mr. Pedro Hotstepper saying, we got Friday, we have limited edition. On Sunday, we have Hotstepper Sunday Remix, Boat Cruise edition, and then Grooving in the Park next week, Friday, starting from 5 until 11 p.m. So
sounds like a good time.
Sounds like it's gonna be a good time.
So did I say that they could be anywhere in the world, but they're here with us? So thank them. Did I do that yet?
No, you didn't.
Oh, well, y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. So big up to that. This is episode 103. We're on our way to 1,000. Thank you to everybody that's here. Thank you everybody that popped in. Thank you everybody.
Zay,
Pedro.
Zay, go check on Daddy, man.
Tell me Laz's internet, man. Oh man, that's funny. No, that's all right though. He'll be back, I'm sure. Technology happens.
I went to Grooving in the Park last week. Sorry, last year.
Last year? Yeah.
Last year. It was my first time at Grooving in the Park. It was a dope experience. And I'm not used to going to events where they play a lot of house music, but it was a vibe. It was a vibe. I think we got him back.
Can you believe it? I pay my Rogers bill and the internet cuts out in the middle of an interview. Go figure that out. So I cannot shout out Rogers right now. So
good old
Rogers has
we're all good.
Rogers has a knack for doing that.
I'm telling you. So, but yeah, it's I mean, there's lots to talk about, but listen, man, it's been, got to give you guys a big shout out. What you guys do, I've enjoyed this show for a long time, and it's great that you guys just give that platform to so many different people, DJs, other people on Twitch, and it's I've learned, from tuning into your show about other people, so it's a great thing. So big up to you guys as well.
Thank
man.
you for that, man. Thank you.
Much respect.
Humbly take the compliments, and I appreciate that, man.
Yes,
I appreciate that. Yes. Let me just ask you. So tdot was asking you earlier, what do you do to kind of settle down? Are you into movies, TV shows?
I do love some TV shows. So Succession, Barry, Dave with Lil Dicky.
Right.
So a couple of shows that I like to watch. I don't watch a lot of television, but I do enjoy it when I get to it. I generally am genuinely pretty busy. I keep myself pretty occupied, and I don't look at promoting as work. So it's part of my lifestyle. It's what I love to do.
Right.
So it doesn't. It's not like, oh gosh, I gotta promote. I enjoy promoting. I look forward to promoting. So but those are a couple of shows that I do enjoy currently.
Dave, a buddy of mine put me onto Dave, and I watched a couple episodes, but it's amazing, actually. It's amazing. But then sometimes I just get caught up in other shows that I forget that there's something else that I was supposed to be watching. So now that you said Dave, it reminds me, yes, I was supposed to be watching Dave.
There's TV today is incredible. There's so much good TV. I can just lose myself in that. And that's what sometimes I like to do when it's super busy. I just need to chill, be completely on my own, and just be a couch potato and relax, because I'm always on the go or on the move. So I like to have that downtime. And a little bit about me too. Food, food's a big passion for me as well.
Where's your restaurant?
So one, I don't have one. I've many. So lots of restaurants. Well, I gotta celebrate my boy Dave Campbell's birthday this week. So we're gonna hit Jules. Jules is a French restaurant on Queen Street West. So I'm a big fan of French cuisine. But everything from that, like even Tironi is great.
Hold on, slow down, man. Jules.
Yeah. Jules, it's Jules, Tironi, for Italian. It's great. I had an amazing dinner not too long ago at Margot. The company probably helped as well, and that's on. So it's Clio is the building. So that's 600 Queen Street West. So the second floor is Mr. Vander, which is like a nightclub, and I do some events there. The third floor is a private bar, and just recently Drake kind of rented it out. And the fourth floor is a restaurant called Margot, and really good experience. Enjoyed that. And Nodo as well, Nodo, great Italian restaurant. It's my friend Vito, and he has several locations in the Junction, in Leslieville, and in Hillcrest area. And he's actually just opened up one in Liberty Village. So
he's opened up many locations of Nodo.
That's right. There's 4 locations, and they're all dope. So it's a great place.
What kind of vibe is that?
Very, very nice, casual, mid-scale restaurant, but just really dope Italian food if you like Italian food.
Joey's vibe or Kelsey's vibe?
He's like,
neither. No, neither. Because
he's like,
brother. None of that. It's gonna have definitely. Let me say. So
he's like mid-scale. I'm like mid-scale.
So
no.
No. So yeah. So Margot will be a little bit more. That'll be a little bit more upscale, But Nodo is,
Yeah.
No Chef Boyardee at Nodo. You know what I mean? You're gonna have some good Italian food there, right? No Olive Garden. No Olive Garden.
Okay.
But restaurants, I could talk hours for restaurants.
So it sounds like you're Italian.
Well, I'd go to Italian. No, actually French is one of my favorites. I do like French. Yeah, I like a lot of worldly cuisines. So, but like Thai, West Indian, of course, of all kinds. If I got to get a good Trini roti, I got to get a good Jamaican jerk. It's so love that stuff. So
like a Jamaican jerk right here.
You can't let him get away with that. tdot hot shot's got
only on,
part of the comeback.
On Tuesdays. It's part of the show, man. No, it's part of the shtick. You gotta let it go.
Yeah, I emphasized on good Jamaican jerk.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's smoky. I mean, it's got with a little bit of spice. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, there we go.
On the drum, over the charcoal. It's better over charcoal.
Yeah. But yeah, man. What do you guys got coming up on your show? I feel like I'm going to interview you guys. What do you guys got coming up?
What do we got? Next week we have Donovan Bennett, actually. So he's my cousin. He's a sportscaster. You'd see him on TV probably most of the time. But he's coming by. Talk a little bit about what he does. So that's next week. What else we got? We got some people coming up.
Yeah, RG.
But it's been RG, Ryan Grant, right?
Ryan Grant.
What's the name of the thing again? What's the name of his club? Because his message is so inspirational, guy. He just makes you like, hey, I wanna go.
Yeah, man. He's a trainer, boxing or a fight trainer.
Fight trainer, MMA,
right? Yeah, so he has some good talent under his belt. He's been in the corner of some big fights. But I feel like he's been in the corner of John Paul. St. Pierre. Am I right?
I don't watch those stuff. I don't watch that stuff. I just represent
JSP. Well,
GSP,
here's a
yeah.
funny fact. When I was younger, I used to be in martial arts.
You used to pick on GSP when you were younger?
No. I'd kick that guy's ass easy. So no, don't let that ever get out. Let me tell you, I'll be looking over my shoulders. But yeah, I used to be in martial arts when I was younger. Then there's a thing called joints, and I just realized my joints were not made to handle it anymore. So I had stopped that. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
God bless those people. I don't know.
Competitively or like?
No, just recreationally. I just my knees, like, just a lot of twisting and there was a lot of joint manipulation on the lot. Like, it was just hard on the joints, like and injuries were really high. So I was like, okay, that was fun, and I don't feel like being in the hospital but yeah, that was something I was really passionate about when I was younger as well.
Well, kudos to those guys who do that stuff, man. Because like you said, you don't want to end up in the hospital. Like, these guys go in knowing that the possibility is after the fight I could be in the hospital.
Very likely. Yeah. It's very, very likely. And
that's why I have a
I just job. It's just like I just don't want to be punched in the head repeatedly, so so it's listen, I'm already dealing with loud music that's pumping through my ears when I DJ, or listening in nightclubs and so forth. So that's I'm hoping my hearing stays good for the rest of my life. So I've been around a lot of loud music.
Everybody wants some of that. So all this time, Toronto, the industry. What's somebody says to you, tell me about Toronto. What do you say about Toronto? It seems you have a good love for the city. So what would you say to them?
I do. Well, Toronto's.
No.
Since I have traveled.
Sorry. You have to do that again.
Sorry,
it cut out.
Sorry, I've had the opportunity to travel quite a bit, and when it's given me a greater appreciation of Toronto. We have an amazing city in Toronto, especially if we talk about nightclub culture and arts and entertainment and so forth. The restaurants, like we were just talking about, we have an amazing city. And the cool thing about Toronto versus other places like the U.S., like I've been to New York many times, and Miami and LA and so forth, is that Toronto is very unique because our diversity is amazing, and it's so important, especially for our scene, because there's so many different ethnic people and influences. So I love that. I pride myself in having parties where it's not all of one demographic, right? And it's mixed, and I love that. It's like a true representation of Toronto, and it's great hearing other people coming into Toronto as guests and getting feedback from them. And I'm sure everyone's heard it. People love Toronto. Our artists, musicians, DJs, they love Toronto. They love coming to Toronto. And I have had many of the DJs I've booked where they've chosen to stay or have extended their stay in Toronto. When I've had booked them, they've just fallen in love with it. And it's so back to like just traveling. Like I've been to Europe and like London, Barcelona, Paris, New York, LA, Miami, and different music conferences as well. And whenever you raise Toronto, we get so much respect, and people are always really happy to talk about Toronto or share memories about Toronto. So I'm very proud of our city. So, and I'm
big
proud
shouts
to be
out to Toronto.
Yes, the six.
Like a lot of people have had a lot of
sixes in the
good
chat.
good experiences through you and everything that you guys have put on. So that's dope as well, right? So I can see that you have like the responsibility to it. So people that may be coming into the city, just like you said, you want everybody to have a good experience. So that's
Absolutely, but it comes genuine. Like I'm proud of our city. It's not perfect, but it's good and it's better than most.
Yeah, it's not perfect. You're right. Because I mean, if you drive down Eglinton,
Eglinton's definitely not perfect, you know. So
don't show them Eglinton. No.
But listen,
then you gotta show them the swinging lady too, though. It balances out, man.
Listen, go to New York and check out the traffic there. It's nothing to brag about, right? So or LA, for instance. Oh my goodness, it's like you want to see traffic. That's some serious traffic there. So we got it pretty good.
Nice. Where's the best place you've ever been to, other than Toronto?
Oh, city-wise? I really like Paris.
Howdy.
Yeah, I really like Paris. New York, I'm very comfortable in New York. I don't get, like, people are like, oh, it's so large and overwhelming. I feel very at home in New York, so I like New York a lot. I also, musically, and a lot of our scenes, a lot of the influences, a lot of it comes from New York. So there's a familiarity there. So I do like New York as well. Enjoy Miami mainly for the climate, but I mean, when I go to Miami, it was a lot for the music conferences. But I'm in South Beach, so it's, of course, you know, you're gonna have fun down there, and there's lots of parties to be had down there. So, but yeah,
they have a big house scene there
in Miami.
Yeah.
They do, not as big as Toronto. Toronto has a very listen. Toronto has a big scene for just about everything. Right. So you know, and Toronto is not small. It's not insignificant. We're just a major player in this world, and you know, we've seen it in the past, you know, decade. Well, actually, more than a decade. You know, with the type of artists that have come out of Canada, you've seen that. You know, we're all over the age of 20. You know, at one point you're just like, Toronto, we feel like, you know, New York's little brother, or, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, we stand on our own now. We've had, you know, artists, love them or hate them. But I mean, like, you got Drake, Weeknd, Justin Bieber. But I mean, these are, you know, Shawn Mendes. These are massive, massive international artists that all come from kind of the Toronto area, right? So,
we were talking earlier, Pedro, about what happens at 11:10 when we're coming up on 11:11.
Go nuts.
Look at this. See, my main man in here threw the timer in the chat because he saw me getting fidgety, and I told Pedro, everybody, that I'm just going to cut him off no matter what the hell he's saying. So guys,
cut me off.
In 15 seconds, it'll be 11:11. Thank you to Pedro for being here. So what we do, Pedro, is we throw good juju into the chat. We throw good juju into the universe at 11:11 for whatever it is that you're looking for. So right now it is 11:11. Pedro talked about some good events coming up. So good juju, everybody, good vibes to that. Pedro, for the influence that you've had on the city, because like I said, I keep learning. Thank you for all that. So good juju there. Keep that going. Because you guys are still going, right? So
yes,
let's
respect.
keep that moving. And then everybody, I saw a post just the other day. They're like, it's motherfucking July, everybody. You know, the year we're beyond halfway through this year. Time no stop for nobody. So let's keep moving, everybody. Keep moving forward. All that good stuff. So
whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, whatever it is that you endeavor, let's just put some energy into that and let that manifest for you. 11s in the chat. Let all the good energy go towards all of us here in the chat.
Happy birthday, Faith. Everybody, good juju to Faith on her birthday. And it's 11:12. Everybody breathe it out.
Word.
Oh, we got it in. See, it gets a little dicey sometimes, Pedro. Because, you know, we were talking about Toronto. We were talking about Toronto. It was a great conversation. But no, really, though, man, I think sometimes you just see what people do. And being, like I said, Toronto being such a big place, there's so many people that have such an influence on so many people. And I think, like you said, the pandemic was kind of a good thing. Twitch was a good thing to bring people together, because it's slightly different groups of folk together, but it's all through a love of music or, you know, kind of like minds in general. So
Right.
Music brings people together.
yeah, man, and it's crazy. So it is cool, and I'm happy to have come across Pedro Hotstepper and the Hotstepper Productions. It's pretty cool. Thank you for quickly, like, when it's almost like you were like, "Can I come on the show?" I was like, "Sure, man. You know, let's go." So I appreciate that.
It was easy, man. I thank you for inviting me on, and it was an honor to be on the show. And big up to you guys.
Well, thank you for making your time and sharing everything that you did share with us. And unfortunately, you didn't have any dirt to throw on anybody in regards to
anybody. Man. He's a professional, man. You could tell.
We'll grab a drink one day and then
off camera. He goes, remember when you asked? Let me tell you.
I had some notes here, man.
There's the break room, and then there's behind the break room. So that's
I had Elephant Man in a group chat.
Yeah, I'll share some. Yeah, we'll share some stories another time.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We're gonna raid out to DJ Star Q. So I'm gonna click on that first of all.
We got limited edition this Friday. We got Hotstepper Sunday remix boat cruise on Sunday, and then next week we got Laval.
Laval's on Friday.
Sorry. Laval is Friday. We got Grooving in the Park next week Friday from 5 till 11 p.m.
You got it.
And it's free.
And it's free.
It's free.
Yeah. We had 1,800 people there last year. So
show up.
Let's make it bigger this year.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Bigger.
Awesome. Thank you.
Respect. Thanks for having me.
Yes, Mr. Hotstepper. Thank you so much. Have yourself.
Thanks for everyone in the chat as well. Have a good night. Peace.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody, for coming by. All right, we are ready.
Mikey G 416. Big shouts out to you. Thank you. Zay. Thank you. Denise Jojo, happy birthday, and thank you. Chris Manning Kelly, thank you. CM Rocks, thank you.
Everybody.
Big shouts out.
Everybody.
Christy Ray. Thank you. Nick Jones, thank you. DJ Chela.
Everybody.
Chris Manning Kelly.
All right, later, everybody.
Good
Peace
night,
out.
y'all.
Good night.
Okay, we're